have we seen enough from this Philly team over the last 2 weeks that they look like they've cured their Owls? Dave Weinberg from the Press of Atlantic City, 27 years covering the Birds. And he joins us now, the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. And a rally for another last-minute win. They won in overtime the week before. But everybody's initial response to that, Dave, is, well, it was the Giants. Well, it was the Redskins. Have you seen anything that makes you feel confident about coming back home finally against Dallas?
Well, no. They deserve all the credit in the world, I guess, for the Giants and the Redskins, but they made it way harder on themselves than they needed to be. I know that Carson's, getting a lot of kudos for the 2 fourth-quarter comebacks. I would argue that last week's or Sunday's comeback was caused by his fumble, so it wouldn't have been a comeback if he hadn't made the mistake. So, I'm not really sold on them yet. I just all the injuries. I know they're kind of like piecemealing things together and making it work, but sooner or later, I think it's going to fall apart on them. I think that's going to be this Sunday.
It's tough because, Wentz has played a little bit better. His weapons are not nearly as good as we had hoped, but I think the bigger disappointment has really been on that defensive side of the ball the last couple of weeks. They're a much better defense at home than they are on the road. So does that give you some pause to say, well, if their defense can play better, I think the offense has figured some things out. Are we not even there?
Yeah, it's possible. I guess you have put up some points. It was just I don't have a lot of confidence in that defense either. Like you said, they're the ones that have really kind of caused the problems in the last 3 weeks or so. Maybe they can step up against Dallas. Dallas has an awful lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, though. But then again, the Cowboys have had their own problems recently as well. So I guess it's feasible to think that if the Eagles defense does step up, that they have a shot. But I just don't have a whole lot of confidence. I don't care where they're playing the game.
Do you feel better about, well, not that you were feeling bad, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you feel better about Miles Sanders and what he's shown us, specifically against the Redskins this past Sunday? He can look like he can, carry the load and majority of the carries for the offense.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. He got off to a little bit of a slow start this season, but he's really come on and shown why the Eagles made him that second-round draft pick. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give a lot of credit to Boston Scott as well. I mean, he's was kind of hidden on the practice squad for most of the year, but he's really come on and proven to be a nice compliment to Miles. I'm going to be curious to see what happens if and when Jordan Howard comes back, how they're going to divvy it up, although it doesn't sound like Jordan's coming back anytime soon.
What about Greg Ward? It's something that we've talked about here, today and yesterday. It looks like he can really play, and maybe that's fool's gold. I guess we'll find out, but looks like he's legit, and he could have been helping this team earlier in the season. Is that frustrating to you, and do you believe that he could be a valuable weapon here over the next couple games for Carson?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was as puzzled as anybody as to why he didn't get this opportunity sooner. I know Doug's kind of talked around it a little bit. We had these players here, and certain players playing in the slot, and that was his position. And we had injuries at other spots, so we had to make moves there. But I mean, Greg led this team in receiving during the preseason. He's been there like almost over 2 years now, I guess. Had some success in the AAF, as much as that counts for anything, I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely a legit receiver. No, he's not a number one, but that catch he made to win the game for the Eagles on Sunday was tremendous. And I just talking to the rest of the receivers, they're just so happy for the kid, the way he's persevered, worked hard at his craft, developed his talent, and to see it pay off now is really good to see.
What do you think about how they incorporate Aguilar back if he's healthy and ready to play? Do you anticipate, number one, that he will be back and ready to play? But he has not been a very good receiver when he's had to play on the outsides. He's been more serviceable in the slot, but that seems like where Ward has kind of found a home.
Yeah, that's going to be really intriguing to see what they do there. But like you mentioned, Aguilar hasn't had the best season, and he is more comfortable in the slot than the outside. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to find a way to either move Ward outside, I guess, or just alternate him with Aguilar. I'm not really sure how it's going to work. It doesn't sound like Nelson's really ready to come back yet. I mean, I haven't talked to him this week, but last week he seemed to be it was kind of mystified, almost like in the Jordan Howard situation. Like there's a problem with his knee, but he's always not sure what it is, and the team doesn't seem to really know. They're kind of like treating him and rehabbing him, but he's just doing what they tell him to do. But he's not sure, and but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see like what again with the wide receiver position as with the running back, what they're going to do, how they're going to fit everybody into the game plan.
Dave, I know you've been somewhat critical of Carson throughout the season, especially earlier on. So I want your thoughts on his last two games. I know Mike asked you, your confidence going in, and that was really just on the team. But your thoughts on Carson individually the past two games and how important this game against Dallas could be for him.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I haven't been the biggest Carson backer, I guess. I just don't think that he's, proven himself to be worthy of that big contract and the franchise quarterback label yet. I didn't really see much. I mean, like again, it is the NFL, and then you come back against any team, you deserve a lot of credit. I like the way that he bounced back against Washington after losing the fumble. The way he just led the team down the field, I think it was like 11 for 11 in the fourth quarter, and that's really impressive. But this is the game I think that's going to really give him the opportunity to prove himself that he is one of those elite guys. This is the game where those elite quarterbacks, those great quarterbacks, they put the team on their shoulders and they find a way to win. And if he's going to, in my mind, he hasn't really proven himself to be that guy yet, but he has a really good chance to do that on Sunday against the Cowboys.
What does a win in this particular game do? Anything, or does he have to win both these games and take a, lesser roster to the playoffs in your mind to kind of win people back over? Because there are people who are still like you that need more.
Yeah. If they don't make the playoffs, then I think it's all moot. Yeah, he's got to find a way to get them into the postseason. In my view, anyway, beating the Cowboys would be terrific. But if they lay an egg against the Giants in the second game, then it's all for naught. I do think it's time for him to take a team into the playoffs. He has yet to play in a playoff game, and I think until he does, that Nick Foles shadow is still going to be hanging over him.
That game Sunday, of course, 4:25. If the Eagles win, they still have more work to do. They would have to play the Giants on the following Sunday and win that game to make the playoffs. So they still have a lot more work to be done. Cowboys win. They are in. Dave Weinberg will be covering it for the Press of Atlantic City, and he joined us on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.